Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ozil, and in today's video I'm gonna do the grand finale of my No Pan Left Behind project that I started all the way back in August of last year. So we're gonna go through the last round of eyeshadows that I've worked with and talk about the project as a whole, what I've learned, favorite eyeshadows. We're going to go through all the eyeshadows, favorite looks, all of it. So if you like that kind of content, please stick around, and I think we're just going to start with the reason as to why I decided to start this project and why I did it the way I did. So basically, during the winter, early spring of last year, I was starting to get a lot of eye health issues, and I ended up having to get rid of all of my, or most of my eye makeup and a lot of my face makeup as well, and I kind of had to restart or rebuild my entire eye makeup collection. And so I really went through my old collection. I figured out what was my favorites, what kind of finishes did I like. I wanted to find some dupes of my favorite eyeshadows. What did I want to repurchase? All of that. I've talked about all of this in previous videos and also in the introduction of this project. But anyways, I slowly rebuilt my collection, and I ended up purchasing, first I purchased 4 eyeshadow palettes and then a few singles, and then right after starting this project, I also ended up purchasing some eyeshadows from Sidney Grace, which has always been a dream of mine. So now, if I have counted correctly, I have 91 eyeshadows that is in my collection and that I have worked with within this project. My main goal with this project was to use all of these eyeshadows at least once, and basically just get to know all of the eyeshadows, figure out which eyeshadows I enjoyed and for what purpose, and I wanted to do it in a very controlled and safe way. So that's why I chose 5 to 6, sometimes 7 eyeshadows to work with at a time. I knew exactly what eyeshadows I had used in a certain time period, so that I knew if I had any infections or anything happening with my eyes, I knew which eyeshadows I would have to get rid of or be cautious about. I was also very careful with hygiene, making sure to not double dip and also clean my brushes after every single use. And so far everything has been going great with all of that. My eye health is going a lot better. I do have a chronic condition now that I have to use medicine for probably for the rest of my life, but things are stable and so much better. So I'm really happy about that. And I was able to go through my entire eyeshadow collection from August of last year up until now. We're in July, so almost a year it took me to use all my eyeshadows in this controlled way, but also in a way where I wasn't putting any pressure on myself to use them a certain amount of time, and I didn't have to rush anything. This was like a project that was going to go on until I felt ready to finish it, and that fitted me perfectly. So before I continue talking about everything around the project as a whole, we're going to go through the last eyeshadows that I worked with, which are these 6 eyeshadows. This is Enigma from the Stone Cold Fox palette from Colourpop. I used this 8 times. I enjoy this eyeshadow. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a really nice, just everyday, all around kind of eyeshadow to incorporate with a lot of different looks, really. And yeah, I enjoyed this one. Then we have Yonder from Lethal Cosmetics, which I also used 8 times. I'm so glad I got this shade. I don't have many blue eyeshadows in my collection anymore just because it's not a type of color I tend to reach for when it comes to eyeshadows. But I always wanted a really nice matte turquoise, almost pastel, muted turquoise shade, and this is exactly what I want. I really enjoy it. You can just apply a really light layer or build it up to a more opaque color, so I'm really happy about this shade. I really enjoy all of the lethal, matte lethal cosmetics eyeshadows. I also like the metallic ones, but I will get back to which eyeshadows are my absolute favorites. Next I have Oscar from the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. I used this 5 times. This really beautiful antique gold kind of shade. I'm so happy I have this kind of gold in my collection. I love a gold eyeshadow. It just has to be kind of the right kind of gold, and I think this is beautiful. I really enjoy this one. Next I have Oz from the same palette. I used this 4 times. Also a really beautiful shade. I did enjoy this one too. I probably liked Oscar more than this one. I don't know why. I think it's something about the creaminess maybe. I don't think this has a direct creamy formula, but there's something about it that doesn't make it as easy to work with. So sometimes I succeeded with using my fingers, sometimes it was better to use my brush. It just, I couldn't. The creamy formula of Natasha Denona eyeshadows are a little bit tricky for me, but the shade itself I did really like. I did really enjoy the color and everything, so I can definitely make this work. Next, the last 2 eyeshadows are from the Stone Cold Fox palette, and this is Drama Mama, and I used this 9 times. A beautiful eyeshadow. I really enjoy this one. It has a little bit of that burgundy undertone to it, which is beautiful for certain eyeshadow looks. Really enjoyed it. Nothing bad to say about this one. Lastly, I have Fascinated, which I used 12 times, so this is my most used shade this time around, just because it was really easy to just apply it in the crease for any kind of look really. It's just so easy to work with. But I will say, applying this all over the lid, it showed up a little bit patchy, and I didn't love it for that. I think it's really great as a crease shade, but not so much as a lid shade. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. Alright, let's go through all of my eyeshadows, and I'll talk a little bit around each palette and eyeshadow. First off, we have the Lethal Cosmetics customizable eyeshadow palette. I got these 12 shades. This is what it looks like now. And I will say, overall, I really enjoy all of these eyeshadows, the colors, the formula of Lethal eyeshadows. I do not regret purchasing this, but again, I have found a formula that I like even more, or a brand that I like even more, but really enjoy these eyeshadows. In this eyeshadow palette, my most used and probably my favorite eyeshadows are Wisteria, Esteem, and Habitat. Those are my favorites, but I really enjoy all of these. Now I will say that Synth right here is a duochrome, and I have learned that duochromes are not my favorite kind of formula. I have 5 duochromes in my collection. I was really excited about all of them, but I don't know, maybe I will grow to love them. I just feel like I get overwhelmed every time I use them. It's just a lot, a little bit too much for me. I don't know. I want to enjoy eyeshadows on an everyday basis. I love playing around with my eyeshadows. But with duochromes, I just feel, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, and I also feel like they are a little bit irritating to my sensitive eyes. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel like they are my favorite. So I don't see myself reaching for my duochromes in my collection. And with the Lethal, I have Synth, and then I have 1 in the Stone Cold Fox palette, and 3 in the Rose Quartz palette. Actually, we can move on to this palette now. This is a palette I had so much expectation towards because, yeah, it's just been on my wish list forever. I had dupe of it and I really enjoyed the dupe. I almost like that even more than the original. Now that I've tried the original, I still like this palette. I don't know, maybe I had too high expectations. This is what the palette looks like now. So my 3 favorite and most used shades are Precious, Energized, and Serenity. I love those eyeshadows, and overall these eyeshadows are really beautiful. Now, like I said, there are 3 duochromes in this palette. I think I like these duochromes a little bit more than the Synth from Lethal. We have Cosmic Love, Blissful, and Moon Magic. I know for sure that within this original Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, I enjoy the mattes a little bit more than the metallics, and definitely more than the duochromes. But all in all of these shades are really beautiful. They're in a tone that I really enjoy. There's mostly cool tones, but a few warm tones as well. And I tend to go for more cool toned eyeshadows rather than warm toned. I have my occasional like gold shades and warm browns, but for the most part I really enjoy taupes, mauves or mauves, and lavender shades and cool browns. Then we have the Retro Glam palette from Natasha Denona. Man, I really enjoy this one, especially the matte shades. Again, a little bit disappointed of the metallics, or I don't even know what I'm going to call the finish of those shimmery eyeshadows, because a lot of them has this creamy formula, which I don't enjoy. I find it very difficult to work with. So that's a bummer because it's a very expensive palette. I wish that they were a lot easier to work with. A lot of the times I'm struggling with using a brush to apply the eyeshadows, and then I end up using my fingers, and it's just a little bit of a struggle there. But anyways, this is what the eyeshadow palette looked like today. So the colors and tones of these eyeshadows are absolutely stunning. I love all of those sagey green shades. It's just beautiful. And then again, that Oscar, the antique gold shade, is also beautiful. So all in all, I'm really happy about this palette, but again, a little bit sad that some of these shimmery shades are difficult to work with. I think my favorites are Sage, Holly, Oscar, and Merlin, or Marlin? Marlin. Yeah, those are my favorite eyeshadows from this palette. Then we have the big Colourpop palette, the Stone Cold Fox palette, and I get that this is popular for a reason. Man, you have really everything you need if you enjoy, I was going to say cool toned eyeshadows, but really it's a little bit of everything. We have a row of like mauvey tones, some neutrals, some more warm tones, grayish tones, and cool tones. It's just, yeah, a little bit of everything. And so this is what it looks like now. I hope you can see these eyeshadows. Yeah, and for the most part, I mean, again, the matte shades, most of the mattes, not every single one, but most of the mattes I've really enjoyed, and I can't really tell a difference between the quality of the matte shadows in this affordable palette versus some of the mattes in Huda Beauty or the Natasha Denona palette. I think this is a really great palette. I also really enjoy most of the metallic shades. There is a few, again, like this duochrome called Gnei Sky. Don't love that one. But for the most part, I really, really like this eyeshadow palette. Oh, and I will also say they have a thing with putting glitters or sparkles into some of the matte eyeshadows, and I just don't see the point of that. They just end up falling down on my under eyes, so I don't really like that. But I'm having trouble with the lighting here. I just wanted to show you my favorites. Is You Rock right there, Ghost Town, we have Stone Age, this is beautiful, and then also this darker shade called Obsidian. Those are all mattes, but they are gorgeous. And lastly, I ended up, as for palettes, I ended up getting a few Sidney Grace eyeshadows. I only ordered 10, but I ended up receiving 12, so I guess those were like gifts with purchase. But these, I'm a little bit scared because I think they might fall out because they have previously. But these are the eyeshadows I ordered. So we have all the mattes and then the shimmers. And I will say, any of these formulas, mattes, metallics, satin shades, they're all my all-time favorite formula. The Sidney Grace has not surprised me because I did have high expectations. I've seen them everywhere on YouTube, people talking very highly of these this brand, and so yeah, I was so happy receiving these, and they have become my favorite kind of eyeshadows. It's really hard to pick just a few favorites from here. They're really all my favorites, but I will say I think probably Turtle Doves is my all-time favorite in this palette, but I also really love Winter Wonder and Regal. Also Peace is just beautiful. I mean, go for it. They're all so beautiful. I can't really pick just one. Oh, I've gone through all of the numbers here, and I found my 3 most used eyeshadows within this project out of my entire collection. And those are, again, Turtle Doves, Quarry Days right here, and then Lucy from the Retro Glam palette. Also, let me just mention my singles. I have this latest member of the family here, the Ilia Cream Eyeshadow from, or Shadow Stick in Jubilee. I received as like a hand-me-down, beautiful gold shade. Then I got the Kiko water eyeshadow in number 1 Champagne Eclipse. This is what that one looks like. And then I have to be careful with these, but they're so similar. I believe these two are from Sidney Grace, and then these two are from Colourpop. And I'm very unsure whether or not to keep those two from Colourpop because I'm not convinced that they're eyeshadows for me. These two are beautiful. They're both beautiful. They're all beautiful, but the formula is not very good from Colourpop. So we have Earthshine, lots of fallout, and Diego, lots of fallout, and then Glistening Stream and Sand Harbor. So I don't know if you can see. This is what they look like. So yeah, there you go. Those are all my 91 eyeshadows. I think my biggest sort of disappointment, I guess, were these two eyeshadow palettes, not because they're bad in any ways, but like I said, the formula and on some of these eyeshadows maybe just wasn't right for me. But I don't regret purchasing these. Maybe this one a little bit, but no, not really. I'm glad I have these in my collection. And now I have all colors I really enjoy using. I really feel like I can create an eyeshadow look and any kind of eyeshadow look that I want to create. Probably not every single eyeshadow look you can get out there, but I recently saw this kind of pastel rainbow sort of eyeshadow look, and I thought, do I have the colors you would need to create something like this? And I went through my collection and I found that, yeah, I can make something at least similar to this. Now that I have eyeshadows with all colors I want to use, I feel like I can create anything I would be comfortable with wearing as a makeup look, and I don't feel restricted or like I don't have enough. There's always eyeshadows that I want. Like the Nomad brand has so many beautiful palettes. Also Odin's Eye. There's many brands that I would love to try out their formulas from, but for now I'm good with this, and I'm sure I will purchase more eyeshadows in the future. I would like to keep it under 100 eyeshadows in my collection. I feel like with that I have a lot of variety. And also, what I did, just to get a little bit of an overview, I categorized my entire collection, and I went through and wrote, how many whites I have: blacks, grays, silver, gold, bronze, copper, yellow, oranges, reds, pinks, mauves, lavender or lilac shades, purple, blue, green, duochromes, taupes, browns, peaches, and beige. And yeah, it gave me kind of an overview as to what kind of shades I have a lot of, where I'm maybe missing a little bit, but overall, I have everything I need. I mean, how many white eyeshadows do I really need? Well, I have one that's really white and one that's a little bit more muted white. That's all I need. I have one matte black eyeshadow that is so good. I love it, at least for me. And that's all I need. I have a matte gray. I have a bunch of mauves and taupes, which is what I love. I wanted to focus on those lavender, lilac kind of shades, but I also needed some warm browns. I wanted just a few shades of green, blues, yellows, and I love the fact that for the most part I have eyeshadows that I'm able to take out from their palettes and create customized palettes with. And I'm so happy that all of my eyeshadows in my eyeshadow collection is all cruelty free. That was kind of important to me. Best performer, Sidney Grace, like I told you. I'm not going to get more into that, but like I said, I absolutely love them. And if I'm going to purchase more eyeshadows out of the ones that I already have, I don't think I'm going to purchase another Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette or anyone from Huda. Maybe Colourpop, because I've always loved Colourpop palettes. I've had several in the past. But really, more Sidney Grace singles, yes. Yes, I would love to get more of those. So where to go from here? I think it's maybe not as entertaining to watch. Well, I find it very entertaining, to be honest. I mean, I'm glued to the screen those times where Too Much Tosh has done her pan those eyeshadow projects. I have several YouTubers that I love watching some sort of eyeshadow project. So I don't know what to do next, because there's really none of these eyeshadows I kind of want to get out of the way, other than the eyeshadows I don't really love to use, and that would make me kind of hate pan them. there's not a lot of them really. I really enjoy most of my eyeshadows, at least to some degree. And so I just want to have fun with my eyeshadows now. I want to do some colorful eyeshadow looks. I want to see what I'm able to make or create with the eyeshadows I have. Like how little eyeshadow can you have and still be creative? I think very, very little. And even though I now feel like I have a minimalistic eyeshadow collection, there's still a lot of eyeshadow. Most people don't have 91 eyeshadows in their collection, but like I said, I do feel like I need to have a certain amount to have a little bit of fun with it. And for me, 91 eyeshadows, or at least under 100 eyeshadows, are manageable for me. And it gives me the room to be creative. So I think moving forward, I might do a Pan Those eyeshadow project. I might do another sort of project. Let me know if you have any suggestions as to what I should do with my eyeshadows moving forward. But for now, and as long as my eye health is doing good, or my eyes are doing good, I will just have fun. I will have fun creating looks and experiment a little bit now, because I haven't been able to be free to do that since this project has been more controlled. Like when I worked on those 5 to 7 eyeshadows at a time, I didn't touch any of the other eyeshadows, so it kind of limited me a little bit as to what kind of eyeshadow looks I would create. But that's okay. Now I'm ready to play with my entire collection all at the same time, and I'm really happy I did this project. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. I will do at the end of this video kind of a little slideshow of some of my favorite eyeshadow looks, but maybe I should also swatch my absolute favorite eyeshadows, the ones I just talked about. Actually, let's do that. Alright, I am not the best at swatching, but if we start from the left, down here we have Esteem, Habitat, Wisteria, from all of those 3 from Lethal Cosmetics. Moving on from the Stone Cold Fox palette from Colourpop, we have Ghost Town, Obsidian, Stone Age, and You Rock. So all mattes there. And then moving on to here, we have from Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, we have Fringe, Sage, Holly, Marlin, and Oscar. So Marlin and Oscar are the first metallic shades that I really enjoy. And then if we move up here, from the left, from the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, we have Precious, Energized, and Serenity. So beautiful. Oh my god, I'm getting really inspired to do an eyeshadow look right now. Okay, next, or the last 5 eyeshadows are from the Sidney Grace palette. We have Turtle Doves, Winter Wonder, Regal, Go For It, and Peace. Alright, I think that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!